We're live, baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the pre-market prep session for June 21st, 2023. This being our daily session where we go over any and all news, notes, information, mindset, trade ideas that are completely imperative to keeping you consistently profitable here in these markets. We were gone last week, busy week, but we're back this week and better than ever, right? When you know how to do something, when you commit yourself to something, you never really miss out. You kind of pick right back up where you left off. And that's exactly where we are here today. That's where we were this week with a beautiful trading day yesterday, right? Throwing the Loom video with the analysis into the Facebook group pre-market. Everybody figuring out, okay, we're bullish over this level, bearish under this level. The bearish level played out. That's what we took advantage of, right? You don't try and predict the market. You just have a plan for both outcomes, right? Whether it's you going up or you going down, and then you execute accordingly. And if you struggle to execute right, then it really comes down to a matter of charting and confidence. And I'm so excited because that is exactly what we're going over tonight as we kick off day one of the Chart with Confidence Challenge. So, as I said, couldn't be more, ecstatic, elated. I could not sleep until my alarm if you paid me. Like I was up an hour and a half before my alarm, just like waking up, checking it. Okay, it's 4 a.m. Waking up, checking it. Okay, it's 5 a.m. Finally at 6 a.m. I was like, all right, close enough. I had my alarm set for like 7:30. I was like, all right, close enough. I'm doing it. I'm waking up, right? So I am just extremely excited and ready to get things going. To be completely honest, the market is kind of an afterthought for me this week. It doesn't really take a whole lot of brain cells to kick the market's butt, like we did yesterday with SPY, with Meta. But that was definitely like secondary thought. My primary thought is definitely providing as much value as possible over the course of the next 3 days and really make it palatable, right? I don't think a lot of people realize like the kind of dynamic that goes into the content that finally gets pushed to how it's created and then tailored and then tailored. And I feel like the days leading up into it is when I finally get that final iteration of what it looks like in my head, and make sure that that is what's flushed out there. So, it's dynamic. It's something where I might get inspired at the last second and something's put on my heart. And I'm like, okay, this is how I should phrase this. Because it's not always just about academic teaching. I'm someone that thrives in that environment, right? Give me the nooks and crannies, the technical definitions, the technical terms. But it's different when trying to teach that to the masses. So I just try and make sure that I make everything palatable. Hence the name for the program, Stock Options Made Easy, right? But good morning, everybody. Great morning, I should say. Vivian, good morning. Des, good morning. Andre, good morning. Alicia, Paul, Tage, my man Tage, good morning, brother. Detrice, Michelle, good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great night's sleep. Obviously, if you have not, make sure that you check your group requests, your group invitations. If you are not already part of the Chart with Confidence Challenge group on Facebook, I went back through overnight and this morning and added in and approved the requests of the people that might have just joined or just signed up. So make sure you go and you check your group requests, your group invitations on Facebook and accept that, right? Because that is where everything will be going down. That's where the recordings will be hosted. I would have to delineate like, oh, this is for general and then this is for VIP, but literally everybody signed up was VIP. So whether you're watching live or via replay, drop that one in the chat signifying your intention to get how much better? Just 1%, right? Just 1%. That is what we're aiming for. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to change the world, cure cancer, or fix a neurodegenerative disease. You can literally just wake up and then you go to sleep 1% better than when you woke up, and that was a successful day, right? And that's what we aim to do today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Our top news, as always, whenever this man speaks, is Powell on the Hill. So get ready for Fed Chair Jerome Powell's semi-annual monetary policy testimony before Congress, which will take on additional importance this time around as investors size up last week's FOMC meeting. While policymakers kept rates on hold or what some are calling hawkish pause, an additional 2 hikes were telegraphed for later this year. Nearly all policymakers felt similarly about monetary tightening, while Powell portrayed the skip as an opportunity for the central bank to evaluate how policy direction was impacting the overall economy. Now, in terms of snapshots here, heading over to Capitol Hill, Powell will answer questions from the Senate Banking Committee at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 30 minutes after the opening bell, and appear before the House Financial Services Committee on Thursday. Lawmakers are likely to delve deeper into why he felt that now is the right time to pause hikes and what metrics the central bank continues to analyze following one of the swiftest hiking campaigns in history. Inflation is also running well above the Fed's 2% target, while the labor market remains tight by historical standards. Stock traders shrugged off last week's FOMC decision and forecast, with equities rising since the gathering. It builds upon the market rally in 2023, with big risks like broader banking contagion off the table and debt ceiling drama resolved until after the next election cycle. Other economic indicators have also come in stronger than expected, like the surprise jump in monthly construction of new homes. Now, elsewhere, the closely watched yield curve inversion on Tuesday widened to a four-decade high, reaching 97 basis points for the 2 year and the 10 year. While it may make for a good headline, seeking alpha premium user MMT59 said it is not much more. Another prediction of a future recession that will probably end up being much milder and shorter than anticipated, he added. Having many years investing in the markets, I'm much more interested in the earnings of the companies owned in my portfolio, which so far this year has been much better or have been much better than expected. Congratulations for that, my friend MMT59. Um, but yeah, in terms of Powell today, we really just have to kind of listen up to what he's going to say. You don't really try to predict anything. You just understand what the overarching analysis is, and then you act accordingly. So for us, right, that bounce zone on SPY that I talked about yesterday in the Facebook group, very important, right? Eyeing up that zone. We bounced off it perfectly yesterday, the top of that zone. If Powell says anything that stirs markets up and causes us to sell, then we can sell down within that zone, but we still remain bullish on the daily as long as we hold it, right? We hold that zone itself. So as long as we don't close on the daily beneath the bottom of that zone, things still remain bullish on the daily and primed to bounce. So we are primed to bounce despite the fact that we have Powell speaking. Um, in terms of what that means for your positions. If you have shorter term positions and Powell, starts kind of mixing things up, then yeah, that can look risky for your short term positions. But overall, if you're in, calls on SPY, let's say a month out, you should have absolutely no problem unless we lose that daily, that daily bounce zone. But not probable here. It seems like what they're going to talk about kind of tease it up for him to really pump markets. To be completely honest, we don't know how the market will react. No one does. But overall, just reading what they're going to be talking about, um, it seems like something that's kind of literally they put the ball on the tee and just let him swing it as hard as he can. Because what was it here that they were discussing? Hawkish pause and additional. While Powell betrayed. Oh, yeah. So lawmakers are likely to delve deeper into why he felt that now is the right time to pause hikes. That's a layup, right? Why do you think now is a good time to pause hikes? That's where he can come in and say, because this bullish thing and this bullish thing and this bullish thing and this bullish thing. And that's why we can, pause hikes. So that is like easy layup in terms of like pumping. When people say, hey, you could either pump or you could dump, that's easy layup to pump markets. Um, And then also what metrics the central bank continues to analyze following one of the swiftest hiking campaigns in history. That's probably just going to be the same old story that he always tells, right? Which is we're going to watch the data, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So just know it is not Powell that causes the pump if we pump, right? It's not him that causes the pump. We already came down and hit the bounce zone yesterday, right? Again, this is just used, Powell is used as a smokescreen. A lot of these data drops are used as a smokescreen for what was already written in the charts. That's why it's so important for you to be able to confidently understand what is going on in the charts, right? And know, okay, this is what's happening. This is where we're going to bounce. This is where we're likely to hit. This is where we're breaking out, right? Instead of just saying, oh, this looks like a bull flag. Oh, this looks like this. Oh, this may be this. Oh, I hope I have the right endpoints for this. No, that's one thing we're going to go over tonight is exactly how you find the correct endpoints when you're charting, right? Which is one of the most important things. So we're going to cover a lot of great stuff. I'm very excited for it. But yeah, I mean, when we talk about days like today, that is when you most definitely have to trust in the charts the most because you can just get all this volatility with him speaking. But you've got to have a plan. The charts give you the plan where you could say, okay, cool, I'm getting in here, I'm getting out here. that is what makes this a system, right? That is what makes this replicable, and that's what you have to focus on establishing. Now, in terms of the yield curve inversion, I mean that's been happening nonstop really for like the past year and a half. So a yield curve inversion doesn't guarantee a recession. It is something that precedes a recession, though. So again, we've talked about that before. Yeah, that's really all that I have to say on that, right? It just opens the door, but we've had a number of them, so having another one, I don't really think means much, to be completely honest. Um, and technically, we already did have a recession last year when we had two negative consecutive quarters of GDP. Now, in terms of automotive news, charging standards, Texas will be the first U.S. state to mandate Tesla's electric vehicle charging system, and a huge win for CEO Elon Musk, who is working towards making the connector the industry standard. Thank you. Bravo. We called this. We've been saying it for months, right? It's amazing what happens when you tune in and you invest in yourself day by day, 1%, 1%. It's almost like you can see the future, right? And this is exactly what's happening now with Tesla. What did I say when we broke that weekly downtrend? This is when the news is going to start to pile on, right? This is when they're going to start to debut it. Why? Because they have people on payroll who read the charts also, right? Who can say, hey, this is where this is where we're going to see a lot of buyers come in. This is where we're going to see a lot of technical strength. And then they can go ahead and, pump it. They can drip this news out in order to maintain that pump. And that's what Tesla's doing. They, broke the weekly downtrend. They're moving, right? Then they drop one piece of news. Then what do they do? Wait a week, drop another piece of news, wait a week, drop another piece of news, right? They're dripping this news out to keep that pump going, to keep that pump sustained. And our long calls and our shares are, paying up and being sustained as a part of that, which is a beautiful thing, very profitable thing. But again, this is no surprise, and you can see that in action, which is a beautiful thing. But it's just it's funny because now everybody now wants to make the videos. Oh, look at Tesla, like they're you got to come to them. That's the Don, right? But we've been talking about this for months, right? So being ahead, being super present and aware of the now allows you to see pretty deeply into the future, right? If you're very, very intentional about paying attention to the now, it doesn't become that hard to see what is going on, right? And what's going to happen. Now, experts believe that the decision could push other states to adopt the system. In addition, Tesla is poised to benefit from China's $72 billion tax break for EVs, while Musk hinted at launching Tesla in another major Asian market. Investing group leader JR Research believes Tesla's NACS plug is well primed to assume leadership as the national standard. This automaker also just became the latest to add the connector to its EVs following Ford and General Motors. This automaker, they want you to click the link. It's Rivian. For anybody who doesn't know, but that's Rivian, Ford, General Motors. All of them over the course of the past month have unveiled that they're going to be partnering with Tesla to be part of their charging standard, right? So exactly what I've been talking about on here for months in regard to Tesla ingraining itself and not wasting that first mover advantage has come to pass, right? Because we see Tesla, Netflix did not do that. Netflix didn't create an infrastructure that all the streaming companies would need. Part of it is by virtue of their business model, but Tesla had the ability to do that. They took the time to do it, and now you're starting to see that pay off. In terms of healthcare, Novo Nordisk, ticker NVO, is suing medical spas and wellness clinics for allegedly selling copycat versions of its GLP-1 drugs, such as Ozempic and Wegovy, popularly used for weight loss. The Food and Drug Administration recently warned consumers not to use off-brand versions of these drugs as they may not be safe or effective. Sales of semaglutide medications soared in recent years, but demand has outstripped supply, leading to drug shortages. The World Health Organization has also sounded the alarm, cautioning that the weight loss drugs were not a silver bullet. Yeah, I don't really do much trading when it comes to like medical supply companies or medical companies or pharmaceutical companies, just because news can just cause them to go up, down, up, down, up, down. I know a lot of people love Novo Nordisk and believe in Novo Nordisk, NVO. Like it's kind of like all the people who Eli Lilly is kind of the one that you want to be involved in most if you're involved with a pharmaceutical company, but Novo Nordisk is like the one that's like more low key that like has the hard like stands, like the hardcore believers, like they're really really pushing. Novo Nordisk is the thing, like they're revolutionary. Um, I don't really feel any way about them. I haven't done enough research about them, but as of right now, they're suing medical spas for selling copycat versions of their stuff. So You know, good luck to them in court, I guess. Financials recycling plan. MasterCard, ticker MA, has launched a global project to recycle debit and credit cards from any issuer to ensure these cards don't end up in landfills. The pilot, which will run for 6 months, will be a partnership with British lender HSBC and will see shredding machines installed at bank branches. Once full, these will be transferred to a plastic recycling plant. MasterCard has roughly 3.1 billion cards, wow, in circulation at present, and estimates that the industry processes around 600 million cards per year. Why is that news? I get it. It must be a slow news morning because, like, what? I can't believe that I just spent 30 seconds of my life reading that. I mean, maybe I'd be enthused if I was a super hardcore environmentalist. I'm not. I mean, great for them recycling, but like probably some of the most useless news I've read in a while. In terms of today's let's see, today's markets in Asia, look, we're looking like kind of mostly red, but it's like very minor. In Asia, Japan, we're up 0.6%. Hong Kong, we're down 2%. That's significantly red. China down 1.3%. India up 0.3%. The footy in London down 0.1, basically flat. Paris down 0.2. Frankfurt is flat. The Dow down 0.01, literally flat. S&P down 0.01, Nasdaq down 0.1. Crude oil flat at $71.21, and then gold down 0.1%. Bitcoin up 7.7%. Watch Coinbase, watch Riot, watch those crypto adjacent tickers here because, like I said, Bitcoin had a weekly inverse head and shoulders that it fired when all those suits came out about, oh, Binance is being sued and Coinbase is being sued by the FTC. That dropped Bitcoin futures right down to that weekly breakout level. And since then, it has pumped right back up. So that was actually a beautiful, buy the dip moment there for Bitcoin. And we're seeing that it's continuing to push now. And I think we start to see it like really moving again soon. So this isn't a crypto, stream by any means necessary, but this is a very technical analysis skewed stream, right? That's what we do. We see what the charts are telling us. We make moves based off of that. That's what the charts are telling us when we look at Bitcoin futures. Now, in terms of today's economic calendar, what do we got? Of course, Powell at 10 a.m. That's going to be the biggest thing, right? Everything's really going to hinge on Powell this morning. So make sure that you are aware that that's happening at 10 a.m. Make sure that you are patient. Don't hyperventilate. Don't overreact. See what's going on. Understand your game plan. Make choices and trade management decisions based on that game plan, not based off of whatever emotions you start getting when you see a candlestick go one way or the other. If something starts firing, still take profit at your price targets, right? If something starts dropping, don't exit unless it has fulfilled your exit rules, right? Or it has invalidated the reason why you entered the trade. What else is happening? Bitcoin BTC USD trades higher, buoyed by BlackRock ETF filing. I think it would have done this anyways. Again, news really just comes out to match up with what's happening on the charts a lot of times. Yes, there's some black swan events that invalidate charts, but overall, news drops when stuff is technically poised to go in that direction, right? So when we talk about a stock running or Bitcoin running, this news drops because we hit that support, we start pushing. They're like, all right, let's dump some more gasoline on this fire. KKR, ticker KKR, to buy PayPal's $44 billion European BNPL loan portfolio. PayPal's been something that people have been trading recently. I haven't really taken a look at it myself. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll give it a look. I use it for all my transactions, as you guys know. But I don't typically trade PayPal so often just because Apple kind of put the nail in the coffin for them in the fintech space. So I just have really had no desire. Biden picks Alphabet, ticker GOOG and GOOGL, chair for next gen chip efforts. Why did Alibaba slip yesterday? Management shakeup stuns. So I guess them, appointing new leadership caused them to sell a bit. Warner Bros, ticker WBD, Netflix in talks to license HBO shows. I mean, HBO, does have great content, so I think that could be cool. And also, more money for Warner Bros from Netflix. Why did Generac, ticker GNRC, jump yesterday? Texas may hold a clue. AMD to invest up to $135 million to expand operations in Ireland. FedEx falls on weak profit guidance. UPS slips too. Eli Lilly to acquire Dice Therapeutics for over $2 billion. And then China is holding back on stimulus. Watch these stocks. I don't really care to because I don't really trade Chinese stocks. Too volatile for me, right? If you can make amazing money trading blue chip, American companies that aren't going to have crazy, overnight restrictions imposed on them by a dictator, I'm going to trade those, right? It's like, again, if you can get in an Uber with a 5-star rating and a very friendly, a very friendly demeanor, versus one that may have a few misdemeanors and doesn't put on deodorant and runs through stop signs and red lights. It's like, if I want to get to the destination of profitability, I'm going to choose the one that looks a little bit safer and is a little bit more foolproof rather than the one that you might end up taking a mugshot beside them, right? We want the best vehicles possible for our money. And right now, China just ain't it particularly for me. But I'll wrap us up and take us out here for the pre-market prep session. What is it? June 21st, 2023. We got Powell at 10 a.m. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And we got the first day of the challenge tonight. I mean, you guys know the vibes. You know the drill, right? Come with expectations. Come excited. Come ready to learn. And we're going to have a great time. So I'll see you guys at 6 p.m. EST. Have a great rest of the day. Talk later. Peace.